Hello, my friends, and welcome back to day 10, our last day of the Reconnect with Your Light challenge. So, I just want to pause for a minute before we get into the title and celebrate you. If you are still listening and still with us and still learning to love yourself up, good for you. And thank you. I really want to honor and celebrate you and acknowledge that. So, I'm so delighted that you're here. I hope you get a lot out of today. And we're just gonna keep moving forward. Okay. Because loving yourself, like in that Whitney song that I put, if you didn't see all the bonuses in day 9, learning to love yourself is the greatest thing of all, right? Really doing it. And today we want to talk about unconditional love, a light of unconditional love. And I'm actually going to talk about light and gold because for me personally, gold is one of my favorite frequencies to work with, but there are so many, and you can use whatever you want. So I love working with golden light and crystalline light, and gold has special meaning for love for me, but there's so many other colors, like we talked about. There's pink and rose gold and green, and just, ooh, play with light if that speaks to you or lights you up, right? No play on words, but we've reached the final day of this challenge and really, again, celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself for learning to embrace the concept of unconditional love. Take a moment. Like, what does that mean to you? Maybe that concept has shifted over time too. So the focus is to kind of integrate some of this together. You know, integrate what we've done in these last 10 days together: self love, self forgiveness, beliefs. What are some of our beliefs? Are we holding ourselves back? Like, are we chained to something like the elephant was? Like, what do we believe? What can we do to break out of our conditioning? Okay. I know that you can do it because here's the key message, and I've said it throughout the week. There's nothing more powerful than the light that you are. You are gold inside. And when we work from the inside out, you radiate that love, you radiate that gold. So I'm going to invite you for your activity, and again, it's in the note, to write a love letter to yourself. This one's different than the last letter we wrote. This one ends with, I love you unconditionally. So you can do this however you would like. Pen to paper's great, typing. You could even memo it, but I would really invite you and encourage you to write it. And you can start it with, like, Dear Kristen, I love you because what I love most about you, what I love most about myself. Write it to yourself, but at the end, sign it. I love you unconditionally. And maybe the love letter includes things that you don't like about yourself or things that, you've done or perceived to have done that weren't optimal, ideal, or bad, however you want to label it. Forgive yourself and write, I love you unconditionally. Okay, so you got that locked and loaded. You're going to do it. Put in the chat that you actually did it. I would love to know. And notice what it feels like. Notice if it's uncomfortable now, even thinking about that. Notice if it feels great. I don't know, or anything in between. And then after you do it, notice what it feels like. Notice what it felt like. Maybe reflect to do this for yourself, especially if you've never done it before. Notice what you're noticing, the gift of noticing. A little discomfort, it's stretching you. A lot of pain or discomfort, or if it brings up other things, you may want to take the time to reflect on that or work with someone on it, whatever works for you. But I hope that you will really write a love letter to yourself because you are a wonderful, beautiful human being. And you deserve to love yourself and receive unconditional love from yourself and from source. And here's why. I'm not going to do a meditation. I'm not even going to try. I'm going to riff a little. I have a story I want to tell you. Pause. Kristen has a guided meditation attached, or I and love meditation. So I'm going to invite you, if you want to meditate, to listen to that. It is so beautiful and it reminds you that you are loved. And there are a couple other songs that kind of lock that in if you're a music person like I am. Okay. So the story that I have for you today is slightly off center from unconditional love. But to me, unconditional love is really about finding that gold inside of you. That is the goal, the golden nugget, right? And this story reminds me of that. So I don't know how familiar you all are with history, especially history from other countries. But there is a story or a legend in time that I think it was back in the 1400s. The monks at a Buddhist monastery had built this big, giant, beautiful golden Buddha. And I think it's like almost 10 feet tall, weighs 5.5 tons, is worth $250 million in Thai or Bangkok money. It's very valuable in today's terms. But in the 1400s, this gold Buddha was with the monks. But in the 1700s, oh, here comes the cat again. Whenever I talk about love, love, unconditional love, the cat likes to come up. I think it was 1757. The Thai people were being invaded by the Burmese army. And the monks at the monastery really wanted to protect the clay, the golden Buddha. So they started to put clay on it and, made plaster and covered it all with little bits of jewels. So it made it look very unappealing to the invading army. All the monks were slaughtered and killed. And in the monastery that was taken over, there was just this big, big clay Buddha that existed. Nothing fanciful. And then in the 1950s, I think it was, the monastery was moving, and the Buddhist monks had to move the clay Buddha with them, or this big Buddha statue. And as they were moving it, they noticed there were cracks in the clay. And they started with just chipping away. Because in the crack, could see a gold shimmer. We talked about before, the crack is where the light gets in, right? But in the shimmer, they made the crack bigger. They just chipped away and chipped away and chipped away at the clay. And when they chipped away at the clay, they noticed there was this gold Buddha inside, hidden from sight, not being taken care of, not being loved up. And that story reminded me of on the inside, it's gold. You're gold on the inside. Your unconditional love on the inside. Allow it to radiate out. Allow the cracks in the clay and let the light come in and help chip the clay away. The more you do the self-love practices or ritual or allowing yourself to resonate in the energy of self-love, the more you're chipping away at the clay, getting to the gold inside, right? So I want to invite you, close your eyes in and see yourself from the inside out, already filled with gold. And we're just peeling all the layers back of the conditioning, of the self-flagellation, of the self-hate, of the mean talk of others, of the protections we put on us, like my coat yesterday, that hid or hides our goal because we're afraid to get hurt. We're afraid to be loved. We might be afraid of source energy and unconditional love flowing through us. You don't have to be afraid anymore. You can begin to chip away at the clay, little by little. One little act of kindness to yourself. One little way of being gentle with yourself, of loving yourself, of pulling in unconditional love. from source, being ready to embody love. In the fire and ice process, the E in the fire stands for embody. Who do you want to become? Do you want to become the clay Buddha? Or are you already the clay Buddha? Or do you want to become the golden Buddha? Do you want to become a person that shines so brightly and vibrantly that people are attracted to your light? Oh, you're gold. You, my friends, are gold. You are unconditional love, waiting for the masks to come off. So thank you for being with us here today on this 10-day challenge. I hope that you will listen to the meditation, I Am Love, and the music that I've attached with it. I really would love for you to celebrate yourself for taking this time for you, because this has been an act of self-love. Every single day you showed up for yourself to do this work and see what I was going to ramble about and, connect in the WhatsApp or whatever you do. Acknowledge yourself, love yourself up. And I invite you to celebrate yourself for completing this challenge. Put in the chat, what did you do to celebrate? Listen to the music. If you're already a member of Seer, connect with the group more, share your wins, share your celebrations, share how you loved yourself up. Share what it felt like this week if you're willing. Was it uncomfortable? Was it new to you? Were you an old hat to you and an old crow and just liked hanging out in the energy? Or did you hate it? I don't know. I think you hated it, but let yourself love it. Let yourself let unconditional flow into you. And then let your mind go out into the world. Become the light of love, my friends. And remember, there is nothing more powerful than the light that you are. So I'll see you in the Seer group or in the WhatsApp. Have a great rest of your day.